So, you're thinking about starting your own business, or you already have your own business that you're trying to turn into a profitable side hustle or even a full-time job. Well, I'm here to tell you, don't. It's horrible. I wake up whenever I want. I eat meals whenever I want. I can even take vacation whenever I want. My name is Faye. I am a small business owner. Quit my job exactly 1 month ago, and here is a quick day in the life of, an Etsy shop owner, small business owner, and jewelry maker. And just a heads up, you will be seeing a lot of food because your girl likes to eat. As you can see here, my office is looking a little messy. We just got back from vacation, and I can't work in a cluttered workspace, so I clean it up. Yes, usually at the beginning of the day. Then I spend way too long looking for something to watch on Netflix, generally true crime, and get started. I started playing with polymer clay at the beginning of the pandemic because I was bored. So it was probably June that I made my first Instagram post on my personal page. Then July, I set up an Etsy shop, started my Instagram page, and just kind of let it do its thing. I got my first Etsy order about 1 month in, which was pretty cool. And then in August, I had my first farmer's market. I can still remember the moment I got my first Etsy order. It was a month in, we were doing groceries, and I got the notification and I started crying in a Fred Meyer's parking lot. Good day. But yeah, at that moment, I was like, okay, I know how to make these earrings. I just don't know how to package them and ship them. So it was a learning curve. It's really hard to know how to do it until you're doing it yourself. I talk to a lot of people who want to open an Etsy shop or start their own business, and they always tell me I just don't want to start without knowing what I'm doing. I need to have a plan and all that. And while having a plan is a great idea, there's no way you're going to understand the ins and outs of owning a business until you do it. So I always tell people, what's the worst that can happen? You give a refund. And that's really not that big of a deal, especially when you're first starting out and your prices are really low. And speaking of prices, it was probably one of the most difficult things for me to figure out how to price my items. When I first got started, it wasn't really for profit, it was just for fun. So I just listed them. I was paranoid to list anything above $15, and then suddenly I was like, okay, maybe I'll charge these $20, and then that gave me anxiety. And now my highest priced item is $46. And to this day, I have people telling me that I still need to raise my prices. So if you're just getting started and you need an idea on how to price your items, what I would do is go onto Etsy and search for the item that you are planning on selling and find something similar, and you'll find quite a range of prices. So I would start low, and as you get more reviews on your shop, more sales on your shop, you can begin to increase the price. And in order to get more reviews on your shop, so towards the beginning, at least for me, it was mostly friends and family buying from my shop, so it was really easy for me to ask them personally. It was like, hey, can you leave a review? But if you don't know them, it might backfire to ask someone for a review. It could be seen kind of spammy. And in this case, I just post on social media, I post it on my stories and say, hey guys, it really helps when you guys leave reviews. In fact, I've had days where I get 3 reviews in a day and my views and sales on my shop double. So I truly believe that reviews help and work to boost your shop, and it makes the Etsy algorithm happy. Another question that I get quite often is, how many items should I have before I open my shop? And the answer is, there really isn't an answer. Okay, maybe 1 item, I guess. For most shops, unless you're really lucky, you're not going to get very many orders right off the bat. I know I definitely didn't. And so when I opened my shop, I think I had 2 or 3 items on there. And then I learned that the more items you have, the more likely you are to get an order because you have more listings. I slowly started adding more items to my shop, and the more items I had, the more often I got orders. So by the time I had around 40-50 listings, that's when I started to notice, maybe 3 to 8 orders a week, which was pretty cool. And no, this wasn't life-changing money. I wasn't I want to quit my job. It was closer to I'm guessing $300 to $500 a month. But at that point, it wasn't even about the money. It was more that I make these things and people actually buy them. These cute little crafts I make in my kitchen and supplies I buy from Michael. People are paying money for them. That's pretty cool. And they like them, So I continued making jewelry for the farmers market, and then occasionally when I got an order, I'd focus on that. At the time, my shipping and processing was like 1 to 3 days, which was really easy to do at the time because I hardly got online orders. So I was mainly focused on my farmers market. And at the time, I did have a full-time job. I was working 35 hours a week, Monday through Friday. And I was also working from home, and this was pre-pandemic, so that was pretty great. I had no commute. I didn't have to worry about that. I could make earrings during my lunch breaks. And believe it or not, I still wasn't considering quitting my job at all. But about a little over a year in, I started realizing that doing too much was not good for you. I had my first panic attack. I wasn't sleeping enough, staying up till like 1, 2 in the morning to prepare for markets, and it just wasn't a good work-life balance. So I decided to go part-time. So at that point, I was working 3 days per week at one job. That left 2 more days to work on my shop, which I was excited for, but at the same time, I was really scared because this was income that I relied on, that my family relied on. It's just me and my husband, but still, we were paying rent in our tiny, it was 2-bedroom apartment with the world's tiniest living room. And we shared an office at the time as well. So it's not like I had my own office space to create. I was still doing things in the kitchen, but it took a lot of that weight off. And to be honest, it didn't last long. So I went part-time in August or September, and around Christmas time, the holiday season picked up and I was doing so many markets and it got really intense. And I was back to that point of overworking myself. But this time I noticed it early. I pulled back. I applied for less markets, and to be honest, that kind of made me sad. So that was the first time I considered maybe it's time to quit my job. Like, Christmas season on Etsy is intense. You get orders on orders on orders, and then doing craft markets, farmers markets, Christmas markets, all that. It was cool, and you're kind of scared to say no to orders, to close the shop, because you're trying to please the algorithm and you're scared you're going to lose all this momentum. But I listened to my body, my overly exhausted body, pulled back, and decided beginning of next year's market season, I'm going to quit my job, which is technically May, and today is May, so I quit a month early. And to be honest, that was not an easy decision to make. Every time I talk about it, I just get so nervous, and knot in my throat. I'd bring it up to my family, and I got mixed opinions. Some of them told me all the bad things that could go wrong, and some of them, specifically my mom, she told me, you can do this. She owns her own business. She owns a cleaning business for the past 10 years. She knows the ins and outs of owning a business, and she's like, it's gonna take time, and it's not gonna come overnight, but you can do this. And the other half of my family was saying but what about this? What about that? And at first, I'd get a little butthurt about it. I didn't really like it, but those were important questions I needed to be answering myself. And the reality was that I knew I could do it. In February, I did my first ever market event. I did the Portland Night Market, which is a 2-night event. They have 40,000 followers on Instagram. So I was like, ooh, this one's gonna be big. So I remember showing up on the first day, and I was a little confused. They already had a routine. I didn't know what to do. I asked one of the girls, and she's like, oh yeah, go to this room, find your spot. And I was like, so is this a big market? Because I paid quite a bit of money to apply. And then she's like, yeah, my friend did her jewelry here, and she sold out on the first night. And me bringing my usual amount of jewelry for smaller markets was like, uh-oh. So I basically sold out on that first night, got up early the next day, was making tons of jewelry. Thankfully, I had some kind of pre-made that I just had to assemble. But I met a lot of great people at that market, specifically vendors who were sending me all the local markets I could apply to. I met great friends. People were checking up on me to make sure I had water and food if I needed a pee break or any of that. I quickly learned that Portland, Oregon has a great maker community. All the organizers of these events are amazing at advertising and supporting you and keeping everything well organized. And the customers are amazing. They're overly nice. They follow you on Instagram almost immediately, and they shop online as well as shopping in person. So it's pretty cool. And that was basically what gave me the confidence to quit my job. I was like, okay, they host these events every so often. And the friends I made at these events helped me find even more markets that I could apply to. And I ended up applying for a few too many. So I actually had to decline a few. And my Etsy shop was just consistently growing with the more items I added to it. So in the end, the moment I was ready to quit my job, I was still nervous, but I wasn't as nervous as I thought I would be. Oh, and one other, I guess, pretty big detail is I applied for a grant for Joann's and they gave me $5,000. So just apply for grants, I guess. Yeah. That was it. That was about 2 days in my life. Just me and Sky. It's your boy over there. Hubby's in the other room. He's in a meeting. It's about 4 o'clock. That wraps up my work day. Sometimes I do come home from the gym. So I'm going to the gym right now. Sometimes I do come home and do some wrapping up stuff. Really no more than an hour. So I come home, cook dinner, take a shower, do some pieces, and then just watch TV till it's bedtime. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm guessing if you're here, you're thinking or have your own business. So let me know business questions that you have, and I'm happy to answer them in the next video. All right, see you later.